Tonight on CTV News, the Christchurch City Council reveals plans for more local housing. A local resident is outraged at an illuminated sign. And could Canterbury have its own flag? This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Housing Minister Dr Nick Smith visited Christchurch today to put forward the Christchurch Housing Accord. With City Mayor Leanne Dalzell, the scheme to put more affordable homes along with temporary accommodation was made public. Patrick Phelps reports.
This package that we're announcing today is absolutely critical to restoring the quality of homes that is needed in Christchurch.
The Housing Accord involves central government and local government working together in an attempt to solve Christchurch's housing problems. It will see 450 units across the city injected into the market. It has three main components.
One, temporary accommodation for families that need a roof over their head while their house is rebuilt. Government's taking the lead, council's providing the land.
After that demand for such accommodation ceases, those properties will be put on the market in the affordable range.
Initiative number 2, council taking the lead, and that's around the new social housing entity and their 50 million, but the government is providing support in the sense of providing access to the income related rent subsidy for those homes and those tenants that meet the criteria.
Dr Smith says this gives a secure revenue stream for the properties. And then, the third part of the accord, which the Housing Minister wished to emphasise as the most important, is council and government working together to get more private sector investment into the housing market, but at the right end.
What's occurred over the last 30 years is building more and more houses at the top end rather than the range, and this accord in a Christchurch sense is setting up the mechanisms to try and get a better mix of properties coming onto the market for both rental and for purchase in the normal commercial market, unsubsidised, but in that more affordable range.
These units will be in Awatea, Wells Street, and on the old Sydenham school site on Colombo Street, where today's announcement was made. Dr Smith confident these units will be ready soon.
We can have those houses such that there will be completed, the first, and residents living in them before the end of this year.
Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell says today is a first step for Christchurch.
From a Christchurch perspective, this is the beginning of a process for us. We now go out to our community and start a consultation process which hopefully will then lead to the sign-off on the Housing Accord proposal.
The Accord will see the government putting forward $75 million and the City Council fronting up with $50 million. Both the Mayor and the Housing Minister emphasise this is by no means the end of a road for solving Christchurch's housing woes. Simply a first step. Patrick Phelps, CTV News.
It's been a 3-year battle to save the Christchurch Cathedral. However, the cause is gaining momentum, with more people than ever supporting the building's restoration.
Support for the Christchurch Cathedral is building, with more people than ever wanting the look of the cathedral to remain as it did before. Research First surveyed almost 400 residents at the beginning of April, finding 52% want the look and feel of the existing cathedral to stay the same, up from 39% when the same poll was taken last year. The other groups surveyed only slightly changed. 65% say they want the cathedral built with modern materials, but were torn on the design. 22% want the existing cathedral retained, and 13% didn't have an opinion. A spokesperson for Research First says the survey is from a public interest point of view to create an independent voice. Jim Anderton, who's co-chairman of the pro-restoration Great Christchurch Buildings Trust, believes the poll results indicate a mood swing towards saving the cathedral. The Anglican Diocese has estimated the restoration of the church will cost between $104 million and $221 million. But Mr Anderton's group has put a much cheaper price tag on the restoration of $67 million. The campaign to save the landmark escalated last week after Christchurch businessman Mike Pero revealed he was appearing in a 60-second television commercial backing its restoration.
Findings from a new survey suggest synthetic cannabis is a time bomb that will put pressure on the public health system for many years to come.
The results of the 2014 Global Drug Survey have found synthetic cannabis puts more New Zealanders in hospital than any other drug. As reported in today's press, almost 4% of synthetic cannabis users need emergency medical treatment. More than a quarter of those have been admitted to hospital. More than 5,700 New Zealanders were surveyed. More than 10% admitted to using synthetic cannabis in the past year. This is the second highest figure in the world. Side effects of the drugs include anxiety, vomiting, chest pain and headaches. It can even lead to kidney failure, seizures, psychosis and heart attacks. A spokesperson of the National Poison Centre holds the view that even if all legal highs were banned, users would continue to have ongoing issues. Under the Psychoactive Substances Act introduced in July last year, licensed retailers can sell drugs approved by the Health Ministry. The ministry can then ban products if there are reports of dangerous effects on users. A CDHB spokesperson has told the press the number of calls to the National Poison Centre have increased, along with visits to emergency departments by users of the drugs.
A Papanui resident has been left outraged after an illuminated sign appeared on her residential street.
It's this sign that's upsetting the neighbours in Murray Place. The sign's lit up 24/7, all day, all night. It sits on the corner of Papanui Road and Murray Place, outside the working style menswear store. A neighbour has complained to the press that it's inappropriate for a business to have advertising lighting up a suburban street. CTV News spoke to a neighbour today who wasn't impressed with it either.
It looks like visual clutter to me. We've been told that it's art. I think that's debatable. It looks like visual clutter on a residential street to me, and we're just worried that it's going to set a precedent right around Christchurch.
A neighbour's already asked Working Style to turn off the sign at night. Another possibility is to move the sign so it only sits on Papanui Road.
It's lit up overnight. I don't know why they can't turn it off overnight. It's lit up overnight, so we arrive home to Las Vegas. It's that simple, really. Not appropriate.
But the Southern Director of Working Style has told the press he's only received one complaint so far since the graphic art was put up a month ago. The company's proud of the imagery, but are looking at a solution that will suit the neighbours and the business. Despite the fuss in the suburbs, if a Christchurch City Councillor gets his way, other parts of the city could look more like New York City's famous Times Square. Second-term Christchurch City Councillor Jamie Goff recently told the council's District Plan Review workshop that businesses built within the 4 avenues should be allowed to place a billboard or multimedia billboard to the side of their buildings. He says this could help businesses thrive, and the idea wouldn't cost the council any money.
Still to come, is Canterbury going to have its own flag?
Al Jazeera News, international news right off the satellite, bringing you up-to-the-minute coverage of world events. Al Jazeera News, weekday mornings at 6 o'clock, right here on CTV.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring moving company. Oi!
Located at the foot of the Port Hills, Berrymead Golf offers a spectacular location for any occasion. Make your dream wedding a reality with private use of our green function room, outdoor garden courtyard, large marquee and stunning gazebo. Or for your next conference, enjoy the relaxed atmosphere of Berrymead Golf, offering a private, spacious conference room with special deals to make any break a true break. All with customised catering from the Wow Cafe. Berrymead Golf, 50 Berrymead Park Drive, right next to the Berrymead Heritage Park.
Potholes. To some, a simple hole in the ground, causing no harm and no concern. But don't let that fool you. Potholes are dangerous. Did you know potholes have been linked to numerous nasty falls and flat tires? So if you have a pothole situation on your property, don't panic. Call the Pothole Repair Company. They'll fix your potholes in a jiffy. So next time you see a pothole on your driveway or in your car park, call the Pothole Repair Company.
Get rid of that damaging and unsightly moss, mould and lichen from your path, drive or roof with Mossbuster. Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. Mossbuster costs less than half the price of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest. Check out our website to find the best solution to your moss, mould and grime problem. Order online or call us now on 0800 88 1000.
Ready to go, mate? Flight leaves at 4:30.
Relax, mate. We'll park at Air Park Canterbury.
Air Park Canterbury, privately owned and operated with a free 24/7 shuttle service. Call 0800 Air Park or book online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
I'm Chris Lynch. Join me for CTV's new current affairs show Lynched every Monday at 8:30 right here on CTV, where I talk to the decision makers and those responsible for running our city.
For the past month, plans to revive New Brighton have been kept under wraps. Now the top secret plans have been unveiled.
A group aiming to inject life back into New Brighton has revealed their plans. The Strategic Urban Rejuvenation Force was launched yesterday, including a list of projects for New Brighton. Residents flocked away from the earthquake-damaged area after the February earthquake. And Tony Brooks, who is heading the surf project, is hoping to give power back to the people and capture New Brighton's former glory. The surf group are planning to erect temporary retail stalls, including a market square on the former Bar 25 site, as well as a wave garden facility and a legacy project which is a salt water pool for the beachside centre. Included in the plan is $180,000 worth of security cameras throughout the suburb. The surf group are funding the projects in an untraditional way, including asking investors overseas to invest back into the community.
Christchurch's gelatine factory is putting forward an $84 million proposal to clear the air in Woolston. It's hoped proposed developments will convert the plant into a low-odour operation.
The Gelita scheme could include $24 million at its Woolston site, with a further $60 million invested elsewhere in New Zealand. Complaints over offensive smells have plagued the German-owned company's Woolston factory. The firm requested Environment Canterbury for temporary changes to its resource consent to allow earthquake repairs. Factory manager Gary Monk says the new scheme to solve the problem isn't a promise, but a possibility if consent changes are given the green light. Part of the factory's odour problem stems from the use of beef skin offcuts to make gelatine, some of which arrives to Gelita factory unpreserved. Gary Monk says many of the site's problems could be solved by converting the plant to make gelatine from Ocean, a low-odour product made from processing clean, dry bone chips with acid. While the company will push on with its 3-year, $3 million scheme to shore up support, it could undergo a full conversion to low-odour Ocean by 2020. Manager Gary Monk says under the proposal, $24 million, on top of the $3 million in repairs, will be spent on new buildings, upgrades and equipment for the Woolston plant. Converting the factory will be a lengthy and expensive process, which will take place while the factory continues to operate. After the conversion, Woolston plant will have the ability to produce double the gelatine it can at the moment. Public submissions to Environment Canterbury on Gelita's application to vary their consent are open until Tuesday, the 22nd of April, the day after Easter Monday.
If you're wondering why the cost of housing is so high, don't assume it's all because of the council consents and red tape. There could be another culprit pushing up both the size and cost of new houses. Clive Barrington knows a thing or two about building houses. The Master Builder's House of the Year winner has more awards than he has wall space in his office. As an acclaimed builder of luxury multi-million-dollar homes, Barrington is used to working with big budgets on big builds. He says over the past 2 decades, it's not just the luxury houses that have become palatial. Even modest family homes have grown rapidly in size and cost.
Houses generally have got bigger now. If you go back, to our day, we all lived at 130 square metre, 1 bathroom, 3-bedroom home. Now, 2 bathrooms is sort of the norm. And so is the attached double garage is kind of almost expected now, whereas if you went back, 40 years ago, the garage was built after in a working bee. Well, that doesn't cut it anymore.
So what's changed to make us choose to buy bigger houses if we really can't afford them or don't need them? Unlike some people in the construction industry, Barrington isn't quick to blame the cost of house building on council consents and regulation. He says the real reason we're buying oversized, overpriced houses is much closer to home.
Well, I think it's the whole subdivision thing. You know, we're getting like America. We put a subdivision, and this is only my point of view, but, you know, we put a subdivision up now, and instead of calling it, you know, Burwood, we call it a fancy name and put a fancy brick fence up and set the rules, and it sort of sets the tone for the whole outfit, and it's all about building a bigger house than you really need and making it look flashy. Subdivisions, for example, they put covenants on them, so houses have got to be like over 150 square metres to protect people's investment, as they put it. We simply don't need, for the young people coming through, those houses. They could still be done very, very well, architecturally designed and cost effective.
There's been heated debate over New Zealand's flag, but is it time Canterbury has its own flag as well? Local leaders and the public have given us their opinion.
Silver fern, Union Jack or a koru design. Changing our national flag has been the hot topic for many over the past few years. Nelson and Otago already have their own flag. Could Canterbury be following in their footsteps? CTV News asked some of the city leaders what they thought about the idea of our own flag.
Yeah, but it's not top of my list of priorities. I'd really quite like a central city.
But Councillor Vicky Buck believes the idea of being able to dream up a flag is part of the creative Christchurch that's been established post-quake.
If you can imagine it, you can basically do it, and we've seen a lot of that since the quake, people just deciding that they don't know if they're allowed to do it, so they just go and do it anyway and discover that they're capable of far more than they thought.
Christchurch's local mayor wasn't giving anything away on the issue.
The idea of having a flag, would we be able to capture the Canterbury spirit in that? I don't know. Unmade up. I haven't made up my mind.
But the mayor did hint as to what could possibly be included in the design.
Christchurch has got a coat of arms which represents a lot about its Indigenous history and settler history.
CTV News also took to the streets to see what they thought about it as well.
Yeah, that would be a really good idea. A way to sort of show our spirit and have something to look at, I guess.
I just don't think it needs it. I think New Zealand's small enough to have one flag, and what it is yet to be decided.
I don't think we need to change anything at all. I think we're right as we are.
I don't know, I would like a new flag. I think they need a new flag. But I couldn't say, at the moment what it would be like.
If there's a good reason we have a flag, I mean, I will support it. Yeah. So yeah, before I can't give any opinion, but I like to know why.
It may be a matter of time until Canterbury is waving their own official flag at sporting events. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Still to come, your weather, traffic update and regional roundup.
Let's face it, everyone has an agenda. And guess what? So do I. Every week, I'll pick 3 stories that grab my attention. Agenda with me, Brent Goff.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring, moving company.
Oi! Have you seen something you like? You can purchase a copy of CTV's own shows so you can watch them again and again. So give us a call on 3777 033 and order a copy today.
The home show sale is on. Hi, Mike from Four Seasons. We have the largest range of gas and wood burners on display. All wood burners and gas fires are heavily reduced. Save up to $1,300 on fire and flue packages. The home show sale at Four Seasons Home and Leisure, Tower Junction Mega Centre.
Hurst Auto Dismantlers, your one-stop shop for all your mechanical and car part needs. Our huge premises boasts a large selection of mechanical parts, panels, tyres and glass. Most makes and models are available on site, and if we don't have it, our trusted staff will do their best to source what you need locally and nationwide. So come in and see the team, or just give us a call and save time and money. Hurst Auto Dismantlers, 343 0099.
Every Monday night I'll take you out and about around the region's A&P shows from Cheviot to Temuka. You'll meet the exhibitors, have a look at the sheep and cattle and horses, and also have a look at what people have been producing. Rob's Country Showtime, 8:30 on a Monday night, CTV.
Disasters strike at any time. So how do people dealing with disabilities cope in emergencies?
It affected many. February 22nd, the day Christchurch changed. But latest research shows those with disabilities were worse affected.
There was a scenario of a chap who, volunteers were going around, Red Cross were knocking on doors to making sure people are okay. But for some people, for someone to mobilise to get to their front door can take time. And by the, someone knocked and waited, but no one came to the door and they left, and that person maybe took a couple of minutes to get to the door and maybe missed out on that opportunity to connect with someone. So it's just being aware of those sort of situations.
The research from the University of Canterbury shows when a natural disaster hits, the people with disabilities experience higher mortality rates, have fewer available resources and less access to help. And local advocates believe it's true.
It's sort of a knock-on effect from one to the other. If you're unable to get to a public space, there's less sort of interaction with other people, and that sort of knock-on effect would be loneliness, isolation and so forth.
But 3 years on, people with disabilities are facing challenges, living in a quake-stricken city. In January, we caught up with Hine Moka, who relies on a mobility chair to get around the city. But the cracked footpaths, roadworks and construction sites don't make it easy.
And I find it really tricky, especially not knowing which route to go down because they change every day. I understand that the city needs to have its pipes in, but they've also got to have consideration for those who want to be a part of the central city again.
The February earthquakes have brought to attention the need for extra plans and resources during a natural disaster. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
And reporter Emma Cropper is also presenting this week's Regional Roundup.
The Ashburton District Council has landed a consent to use water from the Rakaia River. The hope is that in the future, the consent will provide the growing mid-Canterbury town with electricity. The consent was secured in 2009 by the council-funded Ashburton Community Water Trust in conjunction with Central Plains Water. The water hasn't been used yet though. Improved irrigation efficiency means it hasn't been needed. But consents have a life, and this one must be used by 2017. Under the agreements, some of the Ashburton water could be used for hydrogeneration within the Central Plains scheme on the north side of the Rakaia, when water is not needed for irrigation. Ashburton's Mayor Angus Mackay is confident there will be some sort of development in the future, repaying the $950,000 interest the council injected into the Water Trust to help secure the consent. Rangatata Island Airfields is going to be buzzing over Anzac weekend. It's going to be the base for Anzac commemorations. The island will hold a family fun day as part of their service, being held the day after Anzac. The day will feature historic aircraft and vintage machinery and cars. Up to 30 or 40 aircrafts are expected to fly in for the event, which will also feature ration books as tickets for rides. The airfield is owned by flyer Russell Brodie and his wife Linda. An Amberley man's efforts to organise local Anzac ceremonies has been honoured. For the past 5 years, James Drury has led the Amberley Lions Club to organise Anzac Day at the Amberley Domain, and now his efforts are being recognised. Mr Drury has been honoured with the Peter Tallett Trophy for the most outstanding lion in the district, which includes Canterbury, the West Coast and Nelson. Mr Drury also writes and produces a play each year, which carries an educational message as well as organising school poetry. Included in the news is an 8-page feature on dairying in North Canterbury, as well as reports to free up congestion for commuter traffic heading between North Canterbury and the Christchurch city.
For more about these stories, see tomorrow's editions of the Ashburton Courier and the News in North Canterbury. If you're driving around the central city, we have your traffic update to assist you on your way.
Hello travellers, to help you plan your journey around the central city, here's an update on what's happening with the roads. First up, let's take a look at your northern and southern routes across the city. Work sites on Barbados Street in Durham will cause delays during peak travel times. There will be further delays across Montreal Street and Madras running north. We recommend allowing extra time when travelling along these roads, or if you're looking to get around the city, use the 4 avenues for a quicker journey. Keep watching CTV News first at 5 for the latest updates on what's happening with the central city roads, and in the meantime visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
And finally tonight, are we in for any reprieves from this miserable weather? Let's find out.
Kia ora Canterbury, let's take a look at today's temperatures. Timaru, 13 degrees there for you today. Temuka and Geraldine both on 13 degrees. Ashburton, lucky number 13. Methven, 14 degrees. Rakaia, 13 degrees. Darfield on 14. Leeston and Rolleston on 14 degrees. Lincoln also had 14 degrees today, and Christchurch, you guessed it, 14 degrees for you. Akaroa, a mild 14 degrees for you as well. And out in North Canterbury, Kaipui, Rangiora and Amberley all had 14 degrees today. Inland now, Culverden and Hannah Springs 14 degrees, and the same there in Cheviot. Further up along the coast, our friends there in Kaikoura received 14 degrees today as well. Cloudy and cool for your Thursday, Timaru, with freshening northeasterly winds on the way, and there will be some rain during the night. Tonight's low 8 degrees, tomorrow's high 13. A dull cloudy Thursday ahead in Ashburton with cool easterly breezes and rain expected from evening. Tonight's low 8 degrees, tomorrow's high 13. Christchurch, a cloudy day installed with rain developing during the afternoon and a risk of heavy falls from evening. You can also expect gusty southerly winds. Expect an overnight low of 8 tonight. Tomorrow's high 13 degrees. Periods of rain developing further up the coast in Kaikoura and becoming heavy during the afternoon. Strong easterly winds also for you. Expect a low of 8 tonight, and tomorrow's high will be 13 degrees. In other areas around Canterbury, a cloudy day ahead and rain for everyone from the afternoon, heavy in some areas. Methven 13 and 13 there in Rakaia. Darfield, you're also on 13 degrees tomorrow, and Leeston 13 degrees too. Rolleston and Lincoln 13 degrees for you, and also Akaroa will have 13 degrees. And in North Canterbury, our friends out in Kaipui and Rangiora 13 degrees tomorrow. Amberley also have 13 degrees expected there, and Culverden, Hannah Springs and Cheviot also have a rainy day ahead with 13 degrees. Looking ahead for Canterbury, heavy rain on Easter Friday, easing slowly later in the day. Fresh gusty cold easterly winds decreasing gradually. Becoming fine and sunny on Saturday with mild temperatures and moderate northerly or northeasterly winds. Fine and mild with winds tending moderate northwesterly on Sunday. Fine with high cloud increasing on Monday and light winds. Showers and cooler southwesterlies developing at night. Cloudy on Tuesday with showers clearing during the day and southwesterlies dying out. That's your weather update for Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Well, it looks like it's going to be wet and miserable for the next 2 days, but at least during the Easter, the main bits of Easter, it's going to be fine. Well, that's CTV News for Wednesday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.